What happened after the Uber CEO completed 100 rides and deliveries himself? There's a great long read in the Wall Street Journal today about the Uber CEO completing 100 rides and deliveries on the app. After driving for Uber, he realized what a nightmare it is for drivers and all the hassle and complications Uber creates for them because the app is severely lacking. It astounds me that it took this long for these executives to realize just how much is wrong with the driver side of the app. The Uber CEO buys a secondhand Tesla Model Y and started driving for Uber in San Francisco. See, the pandemic fueled a huge labor shortage, so suddenly Uber had to stop taking its drivers for granted and actually consider their user experience. Uber began to focus on drivers. The company offered a $250 million in driver bonuses. Uber has three competing objectives, which are called the triangle of death. 1, keeping costs low. 2, avoiding legal costs. 3, attracting drivers. You can't do all three at the same time. Some of these things the CEO notices, and that it is a pain to sign up for Uber. Uber then created a single sign-up process for workers for both the ride side and the food side. Another thing was that it's confusing to navigate restaurants and figure out where to pick up food as the driver. Another issue was that Uber would match the driver with his next delivery, which when he was already en route to a current order, and then the app would start giving him directions to the second order instead of finishing the first order. Sometimes the CEO would show up to pick up an order and it was actually 2 orders. The biggest issue was something called tip baiting, where customers bait a driver to take the order with a high tip and then significantly reduce the tip. When Uber took away the ability to reduce tips, the overall customer tips went down. So the theory is that you don't know if you're going to even get your food or the timeliness of the delivery, so why would you offer a big tip before you even get your food? On the delivery side, Uber drivers were not always able to see the drop-off location for customers and the projected pay. Uber was trying to avoid discrimination of passengers in geographical areas. We have some really rough parts of Chicago here, and you could see drivers not servicing entire neighborhoods in Chicago. So in conclusion, Uber put the emphasis back on the drivers, and Lyft was slow to do this. Uber was able to do much better as far as revenue and stock performance. It just amazes me it took a pandemic and a worker shortage for Uber to think about the driver experience, and that its app is a nightmare to be a driver on.